Are you looking to get into design or just need some textbooks for reference for pattern drafting and sewing? Well, I got you covered. In my video, stay tuned because I'm going to go through this stack of books in detail, so you don't want to miss out. Alright, so like I said before, I'm going to go through all of this stack of pattern books and sewing books that I use pretty much every day when I'm working. If you like this content, please make sure to subscribe and like the videos, and if you have comments, feel free to drop them below. So first I'm going to start with the sewing books. The very first sewing book I actually ever got. Okay, so I did teach myself how to sew when I was a little kid, but someone purchased me a sewing book because they knew I had a passion for it, and I've had this book ever since. It's about 20 years old. I love it. This is great if you're beginning or if you're more advanced and you need a book. The person who got it for me wrote me a nice little note. But if you need up close, great photos and descriptions, these are for domestic sewing machines and domestic overlockers. So if you are new to sewing and serging garments, I highly recommend this Singer book. It is great for the beginner, and I've been sewing for a long time, so I learn a lot from this book. And because when you're on the go and you need just a quick reference, the pictures are amazing. Not only that, it has home decor how-tos as well, which I haven't attempted yet, but I just love the idea of making my own home decor items. So this is the Singer book. It is still in print. You can get it on Amazon. I think it looks a little bit different. Okay, moving along to my second sewing book. This is advanced, but if you are into, this is a little bit more advanced, but if you are a little bit of a perfectionist and you want your clothes finished in a professional way, this book is great. I got this when I was in fashion school, so this is a textbook that most likely you would use in school. I did purchase this at the university library. I am not sure if you can get it online. However, the diagrams and the photos are, they are what they are, right? I've had to reread these a few times, but if you want your garments to be professionally finished like they do in factories, I highly recommend this book. And like any sewing book, it'll tell you how to troubleshoot your tension and things like that. So I highly recommend a sewing book to keep on hand if you are making clothes for yourself and others. This is really great because everything in here is pictured. There's lots of great diagrams. There's little things like that. They do a step-by-step order of assembly. It does work. I have had trouble, understanding some of the descriptions, especially when you're sewing really complicated things. However, it basically has everything in it that you could possibly need to sew professional garments. How to stitch welt pockets. I refer to this a lot. How to put a zipper welt pocket in. So all these things are great, and these are professional techniques that you won't find in this Singer book here. So that's why I like having both. Or for any beginner or person just starting out, I recommend this book and just watch some of my videos. Moving along, I'm going to, so this is my first design book, which I like. This is in inches, and it is a school textbook. If you've taken fashion school before, you're probably very familiar with this book. If you haven't, I have some videos where I've taken techniques from this book, and I will be doing more. What I like about this book is this is great for any designer who wants to design a wide range of garments. Okay, so what that means is the reason why you can design such a wide range of garments is the measuring system that she has, as well as the block development system. Because of the in-depth body measurements, you get a better fitting block once you follow along with her block development directions. And once you have your block developed, you can go in and get a lot of design inspiration, and you also learn how to manipulate blocks, and you also learn how to manipulate darts and tucks, things like that. So it's what you learn from in school, yes, but you can also benefit from it if you are a beginner designer and you want to follow along and learn some things new on your own or your DIY, you can learn some things from here. A little side note about all my design books is when you get a design book, you want to develop blocks that are from the textbook that you're using, because it'll just be a lot easier to follow along with their directions and you'll have the measurements done properly. Moving, as I flip through this book, you can see why I like it so much. There's so many options for ideas, and sometimes if you're a little bit stumped on what to do, you can just kind of flip through a book like this and get inspiration. What I absolutely love though, okay, yes, collars, we love collared shirts, but it's this section on bustier development and bra development, of skirts, tons of skirts. There's kimonos. They talk about buttons and buttonholes, so it's very thorough and it works for any type of gendered garment, and it has dresses, and these are the bra top foundations. So I really like this book, and this is what I'm going to be doing a lot of my videos based from. So Pattern Making for Fashion Design, Helen Joseph Armstrong, love it. The second book I have used and I've developed blocks from is this Winifred Aldridge design book. It's metric. It's all you metric people. It is simple. If you want to develop blocks that can fit a different type or a wider range of bodies, I find that the blocks from this book are generally for that because of the simplistic nature of her measurements, system, and I mean, I haven't done any blocks from the women's section, but when I was in school, we did a little comparison between her, and we found her blocks fit really nice. And these ones were a little more simplistic, like something you would expect for like commercially made clothing, kind of fit like from this book, right? Like, let's just be honest. And you can see that a lot of her designs are like commercial, you know, looking things, like normal everyday clothes if you were in the 70s, based on these drawings. Because it's simple, you can draft a really quick block from it. And so I've used this for like oversized garments, non-binary garments, when you want it to fit any type of body. The blocks from here work great for that, and they're simple. If you need to develop a block and you know you're gonna have to fit it a bunch of times, sometimes it helps to just do a fast one and knock that out and get it on the person. They do have some really simple methods for developing kimono sleeves and whatnot. It's very simplistic. They just tell you how to draw a pattern. In this book, there are some descriptions on how to assemble the clothes and the patterns together. She doesn't have any of that, but it is metric, so you're going to find, if you're a metric person and you like metric, everything's right down to the millimeter, and I like metric too. I've done like her two-piece sleeve option, and I've applied that to different blocks that I've had because it's fast and it works. Again, it's a very basic fit. I have done the pants, I've done the trousers, I've done everything. Okay, moving along. I have a menswear specific book, and I really like this book. Reason being is because it's a little more modern. The blocks are easy to develop. Everything's very well pictured. I've been very happy with the blocks that I've made from this book. So I like the photos. Tells you how to measure. This is just menswear only, so if you're going for more of like a non-binary fashion, you can also use menswear. I would just use a women's wear book as well. I just like having multiple design books. I learn a lot and a little bit from each one. I've developed really nice blocks. This is simple, simplistic block development, just like the Winifred Aldrich books. Like Winifred Aldrich books, they don't tell you how to assemble. They just tell you pattern drafting. And these patterns tend to fit pretty good, pretty average, not as fitted as the Helen Joseph Armstrong, but they do have options for fitted shirts and non-fitted shirts. So, and this is the section on troubleshooting the fit of your block. And this is why this book is really nice, because if you've ever drafted a pattern, or when you draft a pattern or a block, if you're running into fit issues and you're by yourself and you've never taken pattern drafting, having photo references helps very, very much. Same with when you're doing pants. And this helps too if you've done the block and it's fitting weird. It's really helpful to know where to take them in and how to fit them better to your body. And it talks about seam allowance and for different types of garments. And I've been really happy with the way the collars have come out from this book. So it was a nice, I was really happy with this purchase. I've done some really nice pockets from it, and I really like the options for the different designs because they're a little more modern. This is a book that's really nice to have. It wasn't too expensive. I've had one of these books for a really long time. I haven't actually practiced anything from it, but this is basically a how-to step-by-step guide of drafting and creating a full fitted tailored suit. If you are feeling very motivated and you want to do a classic suit from scratch, this is your book. Now you have to figure out what variations you want, but as you get through the book, it tells you exactly how to assemble everything in a classically tailored way. Get ready to hand sew a lot. See, they want you to hand sew everything. So that's why I haven't used this book yet, but who doesn't love learning about a classic tailored? Now I do some videos on this book a lot because it's a pattern grading book and I make clothes for other people, so a lot of my patterns need to be graded. Now this grading patterns can be a little confusing if you're not used to it. This book, the reason why I'm showing it to you is because the videos that I make on pattern grading I have learned from this book. I do a very simplistic method of pattern grading that works for me, and it works for my clothes, and it works for the people that try them on. So if you are a little new to grading and you need to grade your patterns, check out some of the videos I have on how to grade simple blocks. If you want to get a book on grading, I picked this up at my school. You can get it online. It is textbook prices. This is a book that I absolutely love. You can see I've marked some projects that I want to do, and I want to apply these to my garments that I make in the future. So stay tuned for some of those videos because I'm gonna do some videos on doing some projects from this book. And if you like fabric manipulation, this is awesome. And as designers who make clothes, maybe you want to put some of these options on a jacket or create something for yourself that involves a section on your garment that looks like that. So that's, this book is very inspiring. I love it. And that's it for my book review. Again, I love reading fashion books and pattern drafting books. Make sure you pick up one. If you need just one book that involves pattern drafting, I would get this one here. If you need one book to learn how to sew and assemble clothing, I would get this one. All the other ones aren't super necessary. If you are a little intimidated by this book, start off with one of these. Unfortunately, they are gendered, so you have to buy one if that's the only problem is you have to, you're gendered. But this one, it has both genders in it or all genders, so you can do a lot more for non-binary clothing from this book. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you've made it to the end, congratulations.